Hi, I'm Jason Putnam-Gordon, and today we're going to be talking about mergers and acquisitions, M&A activity, if you will. Now, today's talk is going to be basically M&A activity in a nutshell. And for those of you who don't know what M&A is, it's that. It's your exit. Hopefully your successful exit from the company. Now, why would you want to exit, you might say? Well, there are a host of reasons, and they may include, if you are successful, the opportunity to get liquidity. Liquidity is cash, right? That's important for you who's worked for years to build the value in the company. It's also important for your investors, your venture investors, as well as maybe the friends and family rounds that you raised earlier. So let's talk about M&A activity. Okay, what's involved? Okay, let's talk about both the process and some of the documents along and moving through that process. Okay, so it generally sort of starts out with a letter of intent or a term sheet. Okay, those words are synonymous, or at least how I'm using them today. That document contains the main material terms. Okay, material means basically the key or important terms that if you didn't have them figured out or at least being talked about, the deal wouldn't move forward. Okay, if you're able to move past that process, then you get into the diligence period. Okay, that's when the acquirer gets to take a look at your company, and they'll comb through all of the books and records. That's why you want to have had good legal advice moving through, so that all of your contracts are tied up, so that all the intellectual property is assigned to your company, so that all the leases are done properly. I could go on, but I won't. In the meantime, while you're moving through the diligence process, you're going to be working on the definitive agreement. Now, the definitive agreement basically spells out all the rights and obligations that the target has. Now, that may be your company if you're selling, or the acquirer has. Now, that's the company that's acquiring the target. Within that definitive agreement, there are going to be some ancillary agreements too. Okay, presumably the acquiring company wants not only the team, but also the intellectual property. But they may not want the entire team. Okay, so for those folks who they want and who are critical are going to be called key employees. And they're going to want to make sure they bring them on board. So, for example, one of the ancillary agreements will be the key employee agreements. Okay. Other agreements may include voting and stock repurchase agreements between folks who are maybe cashing out or getting new stock in the acquiring company. Once you've hammered out that definitive agreement, you sign it. Okay, but it doesn't end there. After signing, there's a closing. So there's a window. Okay, and in that period of time, there are things that you will need to do, that the target will need to do, and the acquiring company will need to do. So, for example, if you have any real estate, okay, frequently you'll have a lease. And maybe in that lease, the lease will require that before a new company can move in, you'll need to get the landlord's approval. So you'll have to go out and get the landlord's approval for that. There are other contracts, for example, lines of credit and other banking contracts that have similar provisions within them that you have to comply with. So you do that in the closing period. And then when closing actually comes, that's when it all comes together. That's when, if it's a merger, the merger actually occurs and your company merges into the acquiring company or the acquiring company's subsidiary. And then after that, you have integration, which is beyond the subject of this video. So there you have it. That's M&A activity in a nutshell. We love doing M&A work. We love working with startups and emerging growth companies and mid-stage companies in their M&A activity and other activity as well. So if you think you might be a good fit with us, give us a call, shoot us an email, and be sure to watch our other videos. Thank you.